Hello, I'm Maddison Hollis from Strathfield Tuesday Tutorial, and this is EDES101 Assessment Task 1. When considering my decision to pursue teaching, I must acknowledge the role of my own educational history. Like many of my peers, I could, at times, be frustrated with the apparent emphasis on short-term learning objectives as opposed to broader educational aims. When covering a topic, learning followed a consistent sequence of delivering the content, memorizing it, and then applying it through a standardized assessment. Success seemed only to be measured by the grade achieved, and little attention was paid to discussing how the content was relevant to our own lives or what practical skills were being developed in the process. Under this system, I also noted that we had little opportunity to explore and cultivate our own interests and talents, instead focusing on achieving the best outcome in a considerably uniform curriculum. Nothings notes that this coercive form of education inevitably leads to resistance, which I found true as many of my peers rejected study when faced with the pressure to keep up in a competitive, grade-oriented environment reinforced by leaders tracking methods such as course rankings. In a system that I found at times lackluster, it was undoubtedly the actions of particular teachers that inspired my passion for education. These teachers were clearly guided by their own vision for what education should be and strived to implement these philosophies in the classroom. For example, my legal studies teacher understood that, to engage us, she needed to draw a link between the content and its relevance to the everyday world. So, she began each lesson by challenging us to raise recent cases from the news and discuss how the legal concepts we were learning might be applied in these situations. This also helped us to feel we had a degree of control in our learning, while still meeting the required course objectives. I am also inspired by my teacher's emphasis on collaboration, which I feel was necessary to combat a potentially divisive, competitive environment. In implementing these strategies, my teacher extended beyond the expectation of simply relaying a prescribed curriculum, instead aiming to encourage an enthusiasm for the content. By prioritizing this emotional well-being, my teacher also reflected Nothing's idea of happiness as a key educational aim, demonstrating that it is indeed achievable alongside traditional lesson objectives. In my pursuit of teaching as a vocation, I hope to emulate the same level of consideration for my individual students' needs, such as how to best engage their interest in the content. I believe it is essential for teachers to demonstrate genuine concern for a child's personal well-being in an environment where they may otherwise feel unseen or isolated. In considering this, I would also like to draw upon a central idea within the reading regarding the current elitist mentality that defines the education system. As raised by Nothings, the system is based on a principle of equity, in which all students are argued to be granted equal opportunity through uniform curriculums and testing procedures. However, the system is also based upon a narrow definition of success, in which a university education and high salary are still promoted as ultimate objectives. However, this method is neglectful of students whose passions lie outside of academia, such as through trades, as their desired occupations may be viewed as lesser, despite being necessary to a functioning society. These students may feel neglected within traditional schooling, where their skills are not developed and their interests receive little encouragement. It must also be noted that this outlook is the product of an economically centered environment, and so greater societal transformation is necessary. Despite this, I believe sizable change on a school scale is possible by providing greater support and attention to those whose passions lie beyond academia. As argued by Socrates, people who love certain forms of work will become more competent in these. In a school setting, this could take the form of extracurricular programs designed around these pursuits, or even simply by encouraging students to discuss their motives, goals, and progress within these domains. I feel this enables them to feel as seen and as respected as their peers. I feel this is a key starting point in breaking down the stigmas that surround these occupations and thus evoking some level of societal change. It is also essential in stimulating greater emotional well-being in the school setting and thus contributing to the educational aim of happiness. In conclusion, my teaching philosophy has been shaped by my own educational experience and expanded upon through the ideas explored in Nothing's article. Ultimately, this philosophy is defined by an emphasis on addressing the individual needs of my student, both within and beyond academia. I feel that demonstrating genuine personal concern for students' passions is essential, enabling them to feel valued and supported, and thus is crucial to achieving happiness, the most prominent aim of my teaching philosophy. Thank you.